want to echo your sentiments regarding the young people who came to the meeting today. They're very passionate about their teachers, and I appreciate that we can speak as well as the parents. And we'll carry that message to the superintendent and the appropriate board that is the educational school board meeting next week. I just want to clarify something someone talked about us laying off teachers, and that is just a gross misstatement from an individual who usually comes to our meetings and makes many, many gross misstatements. So I just wanted to make that comment. I do also, I want to touch very briefly on the Broadway River Park project. And I've heard several times a phrase about what's really going on here, what this project really is. And I appreciate the residents coming out this evening. And many of them came out on the March 26th meeting, and at the time and saying about what they've heard, the projected plans were for that park. And what we said at that meeting, and what the chairman said at that meeting, is that there is no resolution yet. Nothing's been awarded. There is no drawing to show you. And when that happens, there will be a public meeting. And on April 16th, when we had a public meeting, many of the individuals came back and started talking about all the plans that are out there about this particular park. Again, no, there's no resolution. There is no plan. We haven't had a public meeting, which we promised the chairman to do. It's March 30th. And again, I heard tonight what's really going on, what the plans are, and people going out, handing out leaflets to people of what the plans are for the Broadway River Park. There's a lot of misinformation that is being passed out about this particular project. What the board has said is sincere and is true, is that this is a project we believe in, but it's not quite a project that we're ready to come public with in terms of what the actual details of how it's going to look and where it's going to fall into the park, because it's not there yet. And so we ask for patience, and we'll be happy in a couple of weeks if people want to come back. We'll say the exact same thing, but the commitment of the board to go over those details and bring those plans to the community is solid. And additionally, I also appreciate that there were a number of supporters for the project here, and it is more than one side of this story. So thank you very much, Chairman.
Freeholder Rank.
Thank you, Chairman. First, I'd like to thank the members of the board for the resolution tonight. The recognition thank you. I would also like to share that last Sunday I joined with thousands of other county residents, young and old, who came out to the Watchung Reservation to enjoy a rare sunny day this spring. One of the attractions was our new country truck event, which debuted last year, and it has already become an instant classic, and we're looking forward to hosting it again next year. We also held our annual Wild Earth Festival at the Trailside Nature and Science Center. The highlight of the festival is the presentation of our Environmental Hero Award. So I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate this year's honorees and to thank them for their service to our community. In addition to these two special events, the newly refurbished roof playground at Watchung also attracted a great many children. All in all, it was very gratifying to see this wonderful public park give so much pleasure to so many Union County residents and visitors.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd also like to thank everyone who came out to speak tonight. It's important for us to be able to hear your views, and we appreciate the fact that you take the time to come here on a busy weeknight. We do listen to everybody. We, as has been said before, plans, for instance, for Broadway Park are not finalized yet. And to the CWA members, I know that you all work very hard and you take good care of our people. So I wish you well in what comes. I'm not going to commit to anything because I'm not part of these negotiations, but we do appreciate your work. I have need to report on a couple of things that are coming up soon. We have the Spring Garden Fair that's going to be by the Master Gardeners of the Watchung Reservation. The county had helped to invest in the greenhouse that was put up at the reservation, and that effort was spearheaded by Freeholder Estrada. And after a number of years of planning and building, that opened up last year, and there was a ceremony on the big finishing of that last week. And it's been put to good use, and of course a lot of what is raised by master gardeners and by the people who are trained by them who start community gardens is food that is shared in the community and given to food banks and given to people who need it. So it's an important community effort. At the fair on May 17th, there will be herbs, locally grown flowers, vegetable seedlings, and many locally native plants. And of course, it was mentioned that we do the Bio Blitz every year, and this year that will be in Watchung Reservation as well. And that is a snapshot of the flora and fauna in our county parks. And we'll have activities, walking activities for the public, the frogs lodge, finding birds and reptiles and all of the wildlife that inhabits our parks. We have experts who help our volunteers do the surveys, and then we keep track and we can compare in the years to come. So for more information about BioBlitz and the Garden Fair, please go to our website, which is at ucmj.org. And lastly, of course, we're very proud of our VOTEC students, but I'd also like to thank the students who participated in 4-H presentation night last week. This is an effort where the students get up and speak about a topic of their choice, and there was a wide variety of speeches from, for instance, how to plant a garden to how to find positive role models in media. But the young woman who gave that speech gave a very convincing argument. And the ages ranged from 3rd, 4th, 5th graders to high school students, and everyone who participated really did a good job, and some did excellent jobs, and I know we'll do even better next time. So that's it for me, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder Carter.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd also like to thank all those speakers who have come to the microphone this evening and in past weeks to have your voice heard, to understand how you're feeling, what you are seeing from your side, and how you view some of the things that we are doing on our side. So I appreciate hearing the things that you have to say. Please note that, as a freeholder, as I sit here, we do take what you say into consideration, to understand and to make sure that we have all of the information and what's best for the whole. I'd also like to take the opportunity to truly thank this young students who came to the microphone. It's not an easy task for them to come for something that they're not to speak about that is not just their student body in their school. Here they have taken their time on a Thursday evening to come here to speak something very passionate that they are about, and to hear them. And I applaud all of them, as my colleagues have also done. And in doing so, and I feel where they're coming from. Being a teacher also and having been put in that same type of position, also being put in the position that many of our union workers that are here are. When you're dealing with unions and you're dealing with, not even just union, with contracts and negotiations, there are sometimes, things that go on that look like you're trying to do certain things in order to achieve your result. I can only speak about some of the things that go on in my district that I am part of, but I recall, for 2 years before I became tenured, receiving exactly that, a pink slip, because we did not have a contract in place. But that was part of their process that they needed to go through. All tenured teachers received their contract, just like now I am a tenured teacher, but I received my contract by a very specific date to say I have a contract for the following year. It is part of the process. It does not negate what goes on and the effect that it has on morale, because it truly does have an effect on morale. So in saying that, I just want to let you know, I appreciate you coming here, speaking to us, stand fast, go just like you have done, continue to rally, go to your school board meeting as you planned. Also with the unions, we hear your voices. And because of the fact that they are still ongoing negotiations, I will not speak any further on any of it, but to let you know that, you know what, we appreciate you coming and making your voices heard. Moving on, I want to take an opportunity. There was a program that was started under Freeholder Marabella when he was chairman, and it was Union County Means Business. And when I became chairman, under that same series, we kept the series Union County Means Business going forward. But under that series, we wanted to have something that really highlighted one of the strengths and advocate for what I believe in, and we started Union County Women Means Business. And I applaud my chairmen that have come after me. They have continued those series, and again, we will have our 3rd annual Union County Women Means Business Summit being held on May 13th at the Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth. It's only a couple of weeks away, and I can tell you this, it's already, we have reservations and people are filling up because they felt as if, you know what, they've gotten so much out of it. We have a featured speaker, Christina Hahn, who is head of packaging consumer goods at Google, who's a dynamic speaker, who will engage us, who will help us, give us our tools necessary that we need to be able to compete in our overall workforce out here, and also compete in sustaining our businesses that we hold here in Union County. And that's what we want to be able to do. We want to make sure that we're giving the tools necessary for individuals to sustain their businesses. And we're going to cover critical topics for success in today's business world, including leadership, public speaking, networking via social media, and negotiating. Wow, listen to all those topics and, all those speakers and what they just came up here and talked about, especially our youth. A lot of their public speaking and things like that, but they're doing it at a young age, and as we continue to move on, we have to make sure that we have those tools here set for us. So I'm proud that on May 13th, again, Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, we will have our 3rd annual Union County Women's Means Business. If you're interested, and we're looking forward to having you all there, please sign up quickly. Last year we had a little over 200 attendees, and we're expecting another large crowd. So please sign up early. You can go to ucnj2.org/UCMB to sign up, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. As a freeholder, one of the oldest, the oldest two oldest in the board. Over the years, I've known that I've heard many, many things. And I can truly tell you that there isn't anything that has not been spoken to that mic that does not in any way have an impact on all of us. Whether you feel that way or not, I can truly tell you that there's a realistic impact in expressions of individuals and their desires. That being said, there's no doubt that there are many topics that we have heard about tonight, that some of those will go tomorrow and find out and investigate further as to the reality of the things that we're hearing. In terms of the park, I think that it's been said numerous times that the design has not been made. There have been allegations in terms of the numbers, the scope of the project. To be very honest with you, I still don't personally know many of those answers. So we're working on those. Hopefully we'll have it soon. We realize the impact of the environment. I was very moved by the information in terms of the birds. I go to the park all the time. Yes, I do listen to the birds, but I didn't know that we had that many quantity of different types of birds, even though that I know that every year we do a search and we count, and we do counts in terms of the environment, and find the information extremely important. I'm sure there'll be more information coming forward, and we'll be ready for that when that comes. In terms of the union, interesting about the, I guess the only thing that I can understand about the checks, I doubt that we're not going to pay anybody for 4 weeks. I know that there's an adjustment that needs to be made in terms of the checks were paid out because of the change that was made previous years, but I am sure that we pay our employees the equitable amount required in terms of their time that they work. Now, I can understand some of the concerns, yes, aware of those. So hopefully, we should be negotiating in the light that, to be fair, and that has always been the policy of this board. Now, there's no doubt that negotiations can take any kinds of routes. I think the employees want a certain number of things, and no doubt that management wants the same other number of things as well. And it's time that we arrive at a consensus that that's what is best interest. To be very honest with you, in any negotiation, I don't believe there's true winners. There is a level of giving up in exchange for other things. And that's the reality of life in both the teacher situation as well as our employees, members of the welfare department that here this evening. Hopefully this will pass in terms of the future. I'm sure we'll get to some resolution. I know that they're committed to having this resolved, so we'll continue to negotiate as is necessary. In terms of the school, interesting enough, Freeholder Maribel to my right and myself, who were here at the beginning when the initial great commitments were being made on behalf of the children of our county. It's a very interesting scenario because I am sure that every single year we have given out pink slips. I'm very honest with you. The numbers may vary. My son went to the AIT years ago. I know that while he was in school, pink slips were giving out. But I don't believe that the issue is so much about the pink slips. First, there's a point of clarification. I know that the students are moved by the manner in which the teachers treat them. Or the reason, one of the important things is this: in the same light, the teachers are motivated by the students that they have. Why? Because it's a limited class size. We have the top cream of this county in those classes. And for many teachers, that's the best scenario they can find because they can really develop things beyond the scope that is not normally done in normal schools. We're extremely proud of the level of education that is provided in the school, the student participation, and the growth and development that we see in these children. No doubt about it. But it is unfortunate that it has gotten to this level. I cannot give you a reason why it has gotten to this level, whether who exposed what first, because I am sure as professionals, teachers are the first ones who probably maybe should not have in any way fueled. And when I say that, I don't know, and I don't want in any way to judge any education professional that these items are being fueled. This is a labor relation issue between management and employees, and yes, there are teachers, they are outstanding, but we can never lose sight of the fact that there are negotiations going on. Every single individual in this county wants us to change the tax structure, spend less money, do all these kinds of things. And it's about striking a balance. Is it all going to be the teachers are going to be the payers? Is CWA the ones who's going to be the payers? Of course not. But it's finding the right balance that is so difficult and so challenging to all of us, as well as you individually or the institutions. I'm of the opinion is that, given time, it is important to also speak about our realities, because that's very important. But in the same token, I think at the end, we will all prevail. We'll have the top teachers back in school, and I'm willing to listen to that lady's ideas about those teachers who are. It was a great. I don't know when we're here at football event. What happened? But I think it's something that to consider. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Freeholder Bell.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to make a couple of comments about the vocational schools, and I appreciate the one student who stayed to hear the comments. I think it's nice that you're interested in, after giving your comments, accepting our comments. So I appreciate you staying. I hope you'll share my message and the message of the other freeholders here with their students and the rest of the student body across all the schools of the vocational campus. And I would say this, I am very proud of the students that go through there. I'm very proud of the passion that I see tonight, but that I see all through the year. And I know many of us freeholders go through the information sessions to explain to new students looking for opportunities in our county. And this is something that I take hold very dear to my heart. Somebody asked me recently, one of the couple of things I'm most proud of as a freeholder over many years, and the vocational school is right at the very top. Freeholder Estrada and many of the other freeholders working together, I think can all say that and share that. I do take exception to the one student who said that this county is not investing in their education. One of the things that we take very seriously is how we spend tax dollars, and with over $100 million have been spent to build and fund maybe twice that amount, those buildings there to provide these opportunities for students around Union County that want to seek this as an opportunity for their education in high school. I know that this administration supports the teachers, so I don't know where that notion comes out. I think Freeholder Estrada said the other freeholders are right. When you have contract negotiations, sometimes misinformation is distributed, and I think that could be a case of this. Because I've seen nothing but dedication from our superintendent deputies to the administration to the teachers that are there. And one of the other freeholders mentioned that this non-tenured teachers get these notices of non-renewal. That happens every year. That's not as a result of this negotiation. That's a regular function of how that school operates. Maybe some of the students know or don't know that we don't negotiate directly with the teachers union. That's the Board of Education and the administration that does that. And we support that administration. At least I'll speak for myself, and I'm sure the rest of the theories that we do that. I'll tell you some of the things that's maybe not been made public that I have to promote something about. And some of the tactics, I'll say, are just, I think, getting a little bit out of hand. And sometimes you can look at non-participation in extracurricular activities. So maybe Relay for Life, which was an extraordinarily successful fundraising for cancer awareness over many years at that campus, had the potential to be canceled because there wasn't participation from the faculty to go there. There's some talk about not attending graduation. There's some talk about not writing recommendations for students that have worked hard to earn that recommendation. I'm particularly frustrated, although I appreciate the passion that our students are being used as a leveraging point in the contract negotiation. And I think that's wrong. And you can shake your head, I appreciate your point of view, and I appreciate your passion, I totally do. But that's how I see it. And the teachers, bargaining unit should bargain professionally across the table and not involve students who should be involved in doing their homework and studying and put their attention to their education versus advocating for their teachers and their contracts. That's how I see it. And I know 18 years ago when I sat here, and there was quite the controversy on whether we should build these schools. And I know I was sitting probably right next to Freeholder right now, and municipalities were suing Union County because they didn't want to lose the best and the brightest and the funding that went along with them. But we thought it was the right idea, and I still think it's the right idea. For students to actually say they're ashamed of their school and they're not proud to be there, I don't know, that's a little drastic from my perspective. But listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I support the superintendent, the administration there, and I'm confident that there will be some resolution that is a fair compromise in their contract. Just as I'm sure there'll be a compromise to the other union representatives that are here. I don't make it a habit, nor any other freeholder, to negotiate in public, and I'm not prepared to do that. And, my comments are personal, and reflective of how I feel. But that's not the way to get a contract derived from my perspective. Let me shift gears a little bit to one last thing. I apologize to Freeholder Kowalski, who I guess on social media, it was her picture that people were saying to call me. So I'm sorry, Freeholder, that you have your picture there. And if people want to call me, I'd be happy to talk to them individually. Could be. This freeholder board, and several years ago, I was part of a collection of freeholders, and as the chairman, to support the sensory-friendly theater series. And I want to say that another one of those events is coming up that I believe will be well attended and well supported, and it's terrific. It's Sunday, May 3rd at 2 o'clock, and it's Cinderella. And this is the sensory-friendly music, theater, dance performances that are adapted according to the guidelines that help reduce disturbances for children and adults with autism and other sensory sensitivities. These performances are presented at the main stage at Union County Performing Arts in Norway. Seats are $8 and can be purchased at the box office or online. And I encourage people, whether you have a student or a child, a grandchild, or anyone with autism, or if you don't, to attend this kind of event. I've been to many of them, and I think they're fantastic. It's a great production in an environment that is suitable and appropriate for folks of disability and sensory sensitivity to enjoy. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I will conclude my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Burton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sometimes the problem with speaking last is that much of what I want to say has been said already. So you'll excuse me if I do repeat a couple things that I feel strongly about. One of those, to those who have spoken about the park, it is absolutely true that there are no details yet on paper as to what the development of that park will look like. And I know that over the course of weeks, there have been some plans, some old resolutions pointed to. My understanding, those are for different projects, and it is absolutely a fact that we could not give you the details of this project tonight if we wanted to, because they have not been drawn up, they have not been put down on paper. And as has been said tonight by the back and previously, when those plans are known, they will be made public, and the public will have an opportunity to see them. And I'm sure that, along with me, all of my colleagues up here will absolutely ensure that takes place. We hear what you're saying, we hear your concerns. Once again, many of them, I believe, are not based on accurate information. But when the time comes, you will be given an opportunity to once again comment on what truly is the project that's going to be considered for that park. Concerning the union members from the Division of Social Services, probably most of you don't know, probably my colleagues up here don't know. In the mid-'80s, I worked for 5 years as a part-time attorney at what was then the Board of Social Services. And I worked there for almost 5 years. And I, along with my colleagues, have all the respect that you deserve for what you do for the citizens of this county day in and day out. And we appreciate that. But has already been said, we cannot negotiate your contract here in public. There's a process for that to take place. Again, we hear your comments, we appreciate them, and as has been said, hopefully this process will move forward and a fair and equitable contract will be reached between your union and the county, and I have no doubt that that will happen. I just want to briefly say that I joined with Freeholder Wright and also Mirabella and Kowalski at the Wild Earth Festival this past weekend, and I won't comment in detail, but it was just a fabulous event. Thousands of Union County residents are out enjoying one of our largest parks and enjoying what was truly a beautiful spring day. Turning briefly also to the students from the Magnet School, because much has been said. I would greatly appreciate them coming out to speak to us tonight. I think it is a credit to them and to their teachers and to the administration and to this county that they came out and spoke so eloquently about this issue. And we're always happy to have our students come out and speak to us. Unfortunately, I have to join with Freeholder Mirabella in questioning the teachers union in involving students in this process, which is a legal process between the Board of Education and the union, and really should not include the students. We realize that you have concerns about what's going on, and we appreciate that, and we hear your concerns. And as with the other union matter, I trust that in time, the process will work as it always has, and a fair and equitable contract will be reached between the Board of Ed and their union. I feel I have to make a brief comment concerning the comments made by Mr. Berry tonight. I find it distressing that he stands up at the mic before this body in public and makes statements that are, to the most degree, not supported by any facts, but are merely allegations and conclusions that he reaches based on things that just aren't true. And that's all I have to say about that. On a happier note, I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge my longtime friend and colleague, the Union County Clerk Joanne Rajapi, and her staff for creating a new service for our military veterans here in the county. Ms. Rajapi has compiled a convenient online listing of local agencies, stores, and businesses that offer discounts for military veterans. The listing includes home improvement stores, contractors, banks and financial consultants, medical professionals, fitness centers, restaurants, food markets, and even an automobile dealership. It makes this information readily available to our veterans so they can take the most advantage of it. If you're a veteran, all you need to do is show an honorable discharge ID or other proof of service to receive your discount. If you have a business or organization and you'd like to be included on this list, you can visit the county clerk online for more information at the county website, ucnj.org, or businesses can call the county clerk's office at 908-527-4787 and can get involved in this program, which appropriately gives this advantage to our military veterans. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. County Council?
No comments tonight, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
County Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one comment. The individual spoke about the infrastructure grant, and that was hoping that all the municipalities could take advantage of it as well. Just would like to advise you that that will be the case. So one of your initiatives, Mr. Chairman, was to put together an economic development response team to try to find those solutions and to try to find assistance for the municipalities. And we've already met with a number of towns, and we'll be meeting with all 21 municipalities. Thank you.
Just a few comments. I'm trying not to reiterate at length the statements by my colleagues here with regard to what was said today. I do certainly want to add with regard to the unions. I think many of us, if not all of us, have probably been employed in a union at one time in our employment. I remember being, I think I was vice president or treasurer of the union at Legal Services. And I remember going to battle with the big bad managers and the administration there, and really fighting for what we believed was the right thing to do for employees. And I commend you all for doing that. Although I do agree with the sentiment that this is not the proper venue for that. We do not negotiate those types of things here in the public setting. It's just not appropriate. Dealing with negotiation as an attorney, teaching negotiation at King University, we go through at great length all of the tactics that bargaining units can use to negotiate. I remember teaching how the teachers union in Newark got all the students to leave class early and go to the steps of City Hall, not the school board, but City Hall, and I guess complained to Cory Booker about the treatment of the teachers there. I thought that was an inappropriate use of tactics, and it, like the other freeholders stated, using the students on the teacher's behalf. But I do commend the students who came here today, and I want the employees that work for the county to know that we certainly care about all the hard work that you all do, and I hope that this turns out well for you, and I hope that you can be happy with the outcome or satisfied with the outcome as has taken place in the past, because we truly applaud the work that you do. We like the work that you do. We want to continue to work with you all, and this is part of the process. You guys are doing what you're supposed to do. Our staff hopefully is doing what they're supposed to do, and hopefully we'll meet somewhere. You don't always get everything you want. That's what I've experienced, but hopefully you get something that satisfies you as well. With regard to Broadway Park, there was one speaker who mentioned or alluded to the fact that we may not have been in the park, or that they may know the park better than us. And that may be so, but I do want to say that park is also very important to me. It was where I learned to swim. I had summer camps there. I have a family reunion there, an annual family reunion that brings out about 300 Union County residents that are also family members of mine to the park every single year in Rahway, and I love that park. While I take what you all say into consideration, and I'm still taking and appreciate some of the things that you said, and you say, hey, we need to think about that, or didn't think about how that may affect wildlife, and get a report on that or some information on that. I really do want to point out that we have turf fields throughout the county. They already exist, and you can go take a look at the one in Linden. You can take a look at the one at Phil Rizzuto Park. You can take a look at the one at Warnaco that we just put together. And these are nice facilities. Now, I haven't personally done research on the long-term effects and environmental impacts on it. We hire people to do that and trust their experience in doing that. But I do see turf fields, all around the nation. When I go to New York, and they're creating turf fields in the middle of areas that were blighted, and now it's beautiful with this turf field. Hopefully, we're all not wrong, and have to pay for that later. These turf fields that exist in Linden and all these other places I named, they're not necessarily. We don't get a large crowd or a long list of complaints every day about them. They're not as invasive, I think, as you all would like us to believe. And we have some experiences in this arena, being that we already have these existing parks. I want you to know that I will take what you said, and I think we will take some of the things that you said into consideration and look to see, how that plays into the ultimate decision and the ultimate suggestion. There was once a statement that you're going to lock the gates. You have to lock the gates. Well, we have turf fields and we don't lock the gates. So no, we don't have to. Where that came from. But again, I want you to know we'll certainly take all that stuff into consideration. But these two things do exist, and they cause minimal, if any, disruption. It's not a stadium that has a covered roof or a covered ceiling or what have you. It's the rubric is there. The example is there to look at. That's how I imagine that it would be, even though, as we said, the final plans are not in existence yet. Finally, two other things I just want to talk about. The 4C program, which was brought up here today as an initiative for this year. This initiative was designed to bridge the gap between the federal income guidelines for child care, right? And right now the federal income guidelines for child care are so low that people who we know could benefit from this service can't even qualify. And there are many of our own county residents our own county employees who I think should be able to benefit from some subsidy for child care to alleviate the burden of having to pay potentially 60% of your income to child care while you're working. It's a really bad situation across the board when people find themselves working and paying 60% of their salary to take care of their kids while they're working. It almost begs the question, what's the point? This program is a first step towards helping alleviate that here at the county. We hope to affect about 25 families and hope to do more in the future. Also, this year, today we had the Youth Services Consortium who came to do youth training and programs for our young people all throughout the county, hopefully in every municipality. And I just think it's a wonderful program that we'll be putting together to train our young people for jobs and services. And on that note, today I had the opportunity to attend the training program or the kickoff for 200 new county jobs right here in Union County that will go to our residents right here in Union County with our partnership with a private firm called AirServe. For jobs over at the airport. They will be employing 200 county residents. But the piece of it that I really like, right, is that through the Union County College, right, and we will be training these residents with soft skills so that when they are employed, they'll actually know what they're doing, right? They'll actually be able to work. They'll actually have skills. And so this is a private partnership that we have with AirServe, where they'll be able to hire people who already have skills that are necessary for the job, therefore keeping the retention rate of employment, up. I've had experiences where I've had to hire people at my job, and after a short amount of time, we've come to the conclusion that they don't have some of those basic skills to keep their job. One employee asked me what Google was. Yes, and I said, well, if I have to teach you that, we're really starting on the ground level, right? So this program with Union County College is going to teach all those soft skills to these residents so that they can keep these jobs and we can employ 200 people. This is 200 in addition to the 200 that we announced about 2 or 3 months ago, right? And I hear that there's some more coming down the pipe. So we're doing a good job doing that. I want to commend the freeholders for supporting these initiatives, and thank you all for that. And on that note, we have a need to go into executive session. So, Council, if you can make your statement relative to the same.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, the public body may go into executive session for the purpose of discussing certain enumerated subjects. This board now wishes to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing attorney-client privilege communication and discussion of potential settlement in the matter of Barbara Sandargus versus the county division. The minutes of the executive session shall be separated from the minutes of the open public session.